Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Roofing Rundown. I'm your host, Dmitry Lipinskiy, and today we're discussing business strategy for small business. I have very special guest, Luke Hansen, founder of CompanyCam. Cannot wait to ask him several questions about his business. Thank you so much for coming. Hope you'll enjoy our conversation and get some value out of it as well. Hey, Luke, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Dmitry. How about you, man?
I cannot complain. How's the weather in wherever you are? You're in Nebraska?
We're in Nebraska, yeah. So we're in Lincoln, Nebraska. And in Nebraska, we get like really cold in the winter, really hot in the summer. We're way too far from any ocean that could like moderate the temperature. So this morning, I woke up and it was really hot in my house. And I went to open the door, like my screen door, I was to let some air in. And sure enough, it's like 10 degrees hotter outside. It's humid. So, I mean, it's going to be like 90 here today. But I'll tell you, I will take 90 and sunny and beautiful over the miserable slogging through the slush that we were doing. Even like, I feel like it snowed in like, let's call it late April, but it's good. Where are you at?
So we're in Minneapolis. We're actually in 70 degrees as well.
About snow.
Yeah, we know. Originally from Siberia, so I know a lot about snow.
That's awesome.
So actually, my sister's birthday is June 27. One of her birthday was snowing, so that's where I'm from.
Oh my goodness.
So look,
man.
Look, I wanted to start this conversation actually with a huge compliment. I love your brand. I love, like even right now, look at you. You have a company shirt, you have company hat. I actually pulled out here 2 of the magazines, different ads for CompanyCam. And obviously you have your brand to the point where you brand yourself really well. I mean, you literally cannot open a roofing contractor magazine without seeing CompanyCam. And I like how you say it, that it's the only app that every roofer has to have. But actually, funny enough, when we signed up for CompanyCam, we received the T-shirt from you. And I loved it. I actually called the company who does your T-shirts, and they do my T-shirts right now for Roofing Insights as well.
Hey, I'm gonna go get a discount from those guys then. Referring business. Yeah, I don't think I can really take credit for this. Like our marketing team is awesome, and they made the hats, the shirts, but I care about it, and I think I have a pretty good handle on how much it matters. And I would say the same to you because someone was asking me from our company, oh, who's this Dmitry guy you're going to be talking to? Because they're not a roofer. They don't really know all that's going on in roofing. And I was like, I'll tell you what, man, he's like everywhere. Like if you're looking at roofing or you want to learn about roofing, I was like, Dmitry, he just like started doing video, teaching, reviewing, and he's killing it. And he he's just doing a great job with his brand and his marketing and everything. And so I'd say I'd have to send that one back your way, but also shout out to our marketing team because Kyle, Nick, just we got like 12 people on our marketing team, so it's easier when you have a bigger team.
Absolutely.
But they do a really nice job, and that the sending out the shirts. Like one thing you may have noticed is that these are nice shirts.
Yes,
like
they are.
These are the $9 shirts instead of the $3 shirts. And the theory there is, if I send you a shirt that is actually a nice shirt, you might wear it. Like if I send you a crappy $2 Gildan shirt, your wife might wear it to bed sometime, but like you don't want to wear that shirt. It's uncomfortable. It shrinks. It gets all weird shaped. So our thought is, we just like, it's not like giving back, but like.
No, I get it. I get it.
It's marketing, but it's just like people are happy to get something that they didn't expect.
Well, I have to say the same about like vehicle wraps. People argue with me all the time. Why do you need a vehicle wrap? You can just put a vinyl letters. And I tell people all the time, if you put vinyl letter, if you go cheap, it defeats the purpose of advertising because now you blend in, you don't stand out anymore. Marketing is not just your phone number somewhere. It's actually quality of the image. So when you drive your truck down the road on a big cargo van and you have just your company name and phone number, you think you advertise, but you don't stand out anymore. So now when you go in and wrap it, completely, now all of a sudden you get that attention, and that's what people are missing. So,
oh man. Well, I come from the roofing industry. So my dad owns a roofing company. I've done that basically forever, since I was 13 years old, maybe 12, who knows. But in, I want to say 2009-ish, like right around 10 years ago, my brother was like, we should wrap our trucks, and I was kind of like, gosh, man, it's kind of expensive. Like I had all these dumb thoughts about it. And then we did it, and it was like night and day. Now, granted, we had quite a few trucks driving around, so it was like 20 trucks.
Sure.
But when we asked people, how'd you hear about us? It was still a ton of referrals, because really, like as we talk about branding and marketing and how much time you should kind of put into that stuff and how you should think about it, number one is just quality of work, quality of service. Like
of course.
People will remember that. That is the long game. Like the short game is I'm buying leads, or I'm like, I found this super cheap customer acquisition strategy, which is great. I mean, I care about that too. But the long game is happy customers, and that's what we're thinking CompanyCam, which is like, if Dmitry's happy and it helps him, he will want to tell people about it. Like it'll make him feel good to tell people about it. He'll feel like smart when he tells someone else about something that helps out their business. And it's all that stuff. But to the trucks, half of the people that would call in for leads or go to our website, when we would ask, how did you hear about us? It would be, we saw your trucks driving around. And we put a lot of time into it. We did the whole wrap thing, and it's like table stakes. It's like trying to run a grocery store without the scanner thing, for the groceries. Like you can't type in all the numbers for the groceries. And if you want to do, a construction company, especially a roofing company these days, people need to recognize you, and you need to look legit when you roll up to their house, in my opinion.
How much time do you spend right now on branding and marketing your business? I've seen you at a roofing expo, so you actually go in and work your booth. How much time daily? Is it 1 hour? Is it 2 hours per day?
Yeah. So for me, it does vary a little bit, because some days, like I'm over with the development guys a lot, like talking about what we're trying to build and, how could this be and what do our customers want, that kind of thing. But I mean, we have more employees working on branding and marketing in CompanyCam than we have software developers building the product. Now, I guess that sort of speaks to how important I think that it is.
Yep.
And it's also like branding and marketing people are cheaper than software developers. Software developers cost a lot of money. But it's, I spend, I would say, at least 2 hours a day in conversation about marketing and branding. I'm kind of wrapping them together in my mind right now. But what I really did was to tell the people who work here that just it makes sense to them with all the branding, to run with it and enforce it. I can enforce the brand. If someone around here at our company isn't following through with kind of our core values and what our brand kind of means or how we want to represent it, then let them know, because that really matters to us.
Absolutely. Well, next question I have for you is, like, we have a Facebook and social media, like there's Instagram that people waste a lot of time on. We keep scrolling and keep looking for content to entertain us. And what I see is a lot of business owners, they at least the one I have conversations about branding, they tell me, Dmitry, I don't have time for it. I don't have time to go and generate my own leads and this. But I see them all the time, all these chats, all this, like commenting on like stupid videos. I'm like, you telling me you don't have time for that, but you just watched this 10-minute video and you went on 50 comments about this topic. Like, what would you say? The roofers a little bit, you deal with them. What would you say average roofer spends time-wise, percentage-wise? Is it like 50-50 entertaining versus education? Or do you see that more people spend more time on entertaining and less time on actually using it as a tool for the business? Because I know you use it as a tool for the business. Yeah, and there's a lot of, I think the people that I end up interacting with a lot more, that I meet at the trade show, or that
just the people that are kind of out at the events where we're just hanging out tend to be the people who are really investing back into their business. So they seem to get it a little bit better, and they seem to really be putting a lot of time back into that. But I understand. I mean, running a roofing company is hard. Like anything,
Yep.
you're managing people, crews, sales guys, gals, the whole, like, it's just a complicated operation. Things are going to go wrong every single day. You're putting out fires. And a lot of this, it's like you got so many short-term, immediate problems that the sort of branding is a long game.
Yes.
Like it doesn't, but that's the way, for my family's roofing business, I ran the marketing. And we were more of a retail kind of shop. We didn't do a lot of storm stuff. I mean, it happened around here, and we get into it. But we're trying to sort of build a sustainable business here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and then we've expanded to Omaha and kind of some of the surrounding areas. But I was almost never doing any like advertising or marketing for just immediate leads. We were always thinking, how are we building our name so that when someone wants to get an estimate, like when it comes around that they need a roof, we get, like, we're in their mind. Like we live in there.
Love it.
And they feel like they should get an estimate from us, even if they get an estimate from 10 other people. And so I mean, I have no magic bullet of how to find the time other than you've got to put a person in charge of it.
My last question is actually, we've been discussing it in a lot of groups. There's been a lot of debates on this topic. Roofing business, is it a commodity, or can you build a brand in the roofing business? Just like you said, like you wanted to build long term, and I see a lot of people coming in and trying to argue with me, Dmitry, you're just a roofer. It's just a shingle. Like there's nothing to it. I'm like, well, Nike is just a shoe company, but it's a $50 billion business, right? The roofing business, is it a commodity business, or you can actually build a brand?
I mean, you can definitely build a brand. I mean, you know that it's hard because we're all putting on basically the same shingles.
Why is it hard?
Well, because they're it's almost like the stack, so to speak, or the industry vertical nature of it. You know, like manufacturer, distributor, contractor. Let's say it's hard to get a lot of separation on the sort of materials level because most likely other people in your market can and do put on the same materials. Now there's ways to sell it. Like for example, I was just talking to one of the top 5 biggest roofing companies in the nation, and they are hand nailing, and they're hand nailing almost, for brand, for quality and brand, and
nice.
To create a differentiator. And I'm not saying go hand nail shingles. I'm saying when you walk in to sell someone a job, which I've done a lot of selling roofing jobs, you got to create that differentiation. And I mean, I think the best way is just over time. But I'm impatient. We're all impatient. We all want to do it now. And to me, the customer has to trust you, and then they have to, like, really, that's just it. They just have to trust you because they really don't know. And so if they can trust you with with the fact, not just that you're going to do a good job, but that you can explain to them why it will be different if you do it than the next guy does it. And if you don't even know why it will be different if you do it than if the next guy does it, then no, you don't have any differentiation. You are a commodity, the end. So you have to first figure out what that is. It could be different everywhere. And like what I usually would run with was, we haven't changed our phone number in 30 years. And something could go wrong here. It's totally possible. I might screw up something. We might, break your gutter off somehow. Like it could happen.
Sure.
But what I absolutely promise you is that we will not accept a check from you until you are happy and everything is right. And you can ask around town. I could give you 1,000 referrals. And we really did it on that sort of commitment to
guaranteed
to kind of quality and integrity. But I know that there's other ways to do it. I just don't know what they are. But it is possible. It's just tricky. It's hard, man. That's why they call it business.
Yeah, I know. If it would be, everybody wants to do it until they start doing it, and then everybody's like, we're gonna give up. Like it's just, people give up a lot in the roofing business. I just read an article about it's funny. The guy was on a cover in the front a local magazine, and I just found out he is out of business now. Just regular door knocker who made couple millions in sales and then mismanaged his money and filed bankruptcy. It happens all the time, everywhere. It's like you can make quick and easy money, but to build a brand and to be disciplined with your sales, and it's
well, like I've talked to other people who are trying to start up kind of stuff in the roofing industry, and just because I've worked in it, like the hard part is managing the people in the process, and creating the brand is tricky too. Like if you do a great job and all of your customers love you, boom, you have a brand and a differentiator, Yep. But it's just hard work. I watched my dad do it for a long time.
They still in business?
Oh yeah. They're doing better than ever. And he had knee surgery yesterday, so he's kind of out, on the lam, as they say, for a little while. But I don't know. Whenever I hear, you hear people kind of, talk down on like small business owners, or like the business owners are somehow exploiting the employees or something. It always rub me the wrong way, because I'm just like, I just have seen how much work goes into that if you want it to succeed in the long term. Then you end up doing a lot of stuff you don't want to do, but I don't know. I don't need to tell you guys to hustle. Like, these guys are roofers. Like, they know what hard work is. And I guess my final sort of thought here is always just play the longer game, think long term. And that's sort of hard for me. I'm an instant gratification millennial, video games type of guy, growing up. But that even at CompanyCam, where I do feel like we got to move quick, we got to do this, but it's like, where are we going to be in 5 years? And what do we need to do now so that in 5 years we're where we want to be, instead of worrying about like tomorrow, next week? And it's like TV says, like, you build it up, and then eventually you'll be there to give other people advice.
Awesome advice, man. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you guys for coming. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you like our content. Roofing Rundown will be coming every single Friday, episodes just like today's.
Roofer.
Fittest Roofer. Where was your video? Exactly.
Most donuts.
Most donuts. Thank you guys so much for coming. See you next time. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Roofing Rundown. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in comments below, and don't forget to subscribe.